Life is a tapestry woven with unexpected twists, where the future remains shrouded in mystery. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting shadows in the cramped hotel room, I found myself lost in thought, the silence heavy with the presence of Ethan beside me. The absence of my husband Jason, who had been away in another city for the past few months, had woven a tight web of tension around me. I missed him, undeniably, but it was more than just his absence that weighed on me. It was his indifference, his disinterest, that lay at the heart of the turmoil. The long, lonely nights gnawed at the very essence of my being. Little did I realize that my simple request for my stepson Ethan to take me to see Dad would lead us to this moment. Trapped in a cramped hotel room, the air thick with unspoken tension, and only a single bed to share between us. Little did I know, a storm was brewing just beyond the horizon, ready to change everything. Allow me to take you back to the very start, where every intricate detail unfolds before your eyes. Believe me, the conclusion of this tale will unfold in ways that will leave you breathless and yearning for more. As dawn broke and I stepped out of the house, a fleeting reflection caught my eye in the mirror, a moment that felt charged with unspoken possibilities. Despite the tension coursing through me, I couldn't deny that I still looked striking. Even in the depths of solitude left by Jason's departure, a flicker of desire ignited within me, reminding me that I was still very much alive. Yet, even those emotions had lost their power, leaving me unfulfilled and yearning for something more. In the dim light of the kitchen, Ethan sat at the table, the last remnants of his breakfast lingering on his plate, when I broke the silence with a call from the shadows behind him. The summer is slipping away, and with college just around the corner, there's an urgency in the air. You must master the art of driving before the next chapter of your life begins. Come on, lead me to your father. He lifted his gaze to meet mine, that familiar, cheeky grin spreading across his face, a constant companion to his mischievous spirit. Ethan was an endearing boy, full of charm and mischief, his quirky sense of humor often leading him into delightful trouble. "All right, stepmom," he said with a playful glint in his eye. "But there's one condition. Make sure Dad gets me a better car for the summer." "We'll talk about it," I snapped, urgency propelling me forward as I pushed him away. Yet, deep within, a restless thought echoed. Let's just push through this journey and be done with it. Little did I know, the journey ahead would take an unexpected turn. The road stretched endlessly before us, the tires humming against the asphalt as we had been driving for nearly 2 hours, the world outside a blur of colors and shadows. In the dim light of the car, I sat in the back seat, my fingers dancing over the screen of my phone. Ethan, oblivious to my distraction, filled the air with a tune from the radio, his voice a soft hum. Every so often he would toss out a joke, the kind that only he found amusing, his laughter echoing in the confined space, a sound both infectious and oddly lonely. In an instant, the car erupted with a dreadful hiss, a sound that pierced the air, and then it fell silent, lifeless. "What is unfolding?" I inquired, forcing myself to keep my voice steady despite the rising tide of panic within me. "I think the car broke down," Ethan muttered, his voice laced with frustration as he steered the vehicle to the roadside, tension radiating from him. There we stood, ensnared in the desolate expanse of nowhere. The signal on my phone flickered weakly, a ghost of hope in the desolate silence, and I was utterly alone, with no one to come to my aid. For 2 relentless hours, we clashed in heated debate, scouring every corner for a mechanic, desperately seeking a way to salvage the wretched machine. At last, we were forced to confront the undeniable truth. Our only choice was to seek refuge for the night at the nearest motel. At the dimly lit motel reception, I watched Ethan engage in conversation with the man at the desk, my frustration simmering just beneath the surface as I stood behind him, feeling the tension in the air. A chill ran down my spine at the thought of Jason finding out. The consequences would be catastrophic, and I could already picture the storm brewing within him. Yet, in that fleeting instant, an inexplicable sense washed over me, making it seem as though nothing truly mattered at all. In the depths of my being, an undeniable certainty gripped me. Tonight held the power to alter everything. As the twists and turns of this tale unfold, Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and activate those notifications so you won't miss a moment of the madness that's about to ensue. Believe me, you won't want to turn away from what's coming next. As it all unfolds, I hope to feel your unwavering support by my side, flooded with comments and a surge of likes. As we stepped into the room and swung the door wide, every hope I had shattered into a million pieces. The space was suffocatingly small, just enough to pivot, leaving no room for escape. In the shadowy confines of the room, a solitary bed stood against the wall, accompanied only by a nightstand that bore witness to countless secrets. Above, a dim light flickered erratically, casting an eerie glow that transformed the space into a realm of unsettling gloom. The ceiling loomed low overhead, the AC sputtered weakly, and the solitary window offered nothing but a view of the drab parking lot. "This is it," I whispered, a wave of disappointment washing over me. As I stepped inside, I could hear Ethan's laughter echoing behind me, a sound that filled the air with an infectious energy. "What were you hoping for? A luxurious 5-star hotel experience? Calm down, stepmom. It's merely a single night." That familiar teasing tone lingered in the air, accompanied by that infuriating smirk. It drove me to the brink of madness. Yet within that chaos, it ignited a fire deep within me that defied explanation. Despite my reluctance to acknowledge it, the thought of being trapped here alone with Ethan tonight began to stir an unexpected thrill within me. As I stepped inside, I could hear Ethan's laughter echoing behind me, a sound that danced through the air like a mischievous spirit. "What did you think this was? A 5-star hotel? Our stay is fleeting, just a single night in this place." "Take a deep breath, stepmom." His teasing tone, laced with mischief, and that cheeky grin only deepened my frustration, igniting a fire within me. Yet, I found it impossible to completely despise Ethan's easygoing, relaxed demeanor. Being near him ignited a fire within me, a thrilling sensation that left me breathless and yearning for more, even if I would never confess it. The oppressive heat bore down on me like a relentless weight, and I found myself rubbing the back of my neck, desperate for relief. A wave of exhaustion crashes over me, and I realize that if I don't step into the shower soon, I might just succumb to the overwhelming fatigue pulling me under. Sure, Ethan replied with a nonchalant air, flinging himself onto the bed and sprawling out on his back, the weight of the world momentarily forgotten. "This is your realm, Rachel. Make yourself at home in any way you desire. Make yourself at home." For just a fleeting moment, my gaze met his. His lean yet toned physique, combined with the subtle boyishness of his features, bestowed upon him an intriguing allure. Yet, I fought to banish the thought from my mind, struggling against its relentless grip. He was the son of Jason, my stepson, bound by blood and fate. As I crossed the threshold into the bathroom, I closed the door with a soft click, sealing myself away from the world outside. For a fleeting moment, I found myself entranced by the image staring back at me from the mirror. My hair clung to my skin, slick with heat, yet I still exuded an undeniable allure. The spark still flickered within me. As I turned the shower on, the sound of rushing water filled the air, a soothing backdrop to my turmoil. I stepped beneath the cascade, yearning for the warmth to cleanse, not just my body, but the storm of emotions swirling within me. I'm 47 years old, I realized, and Ethan, he's no longer a child. At just 22, on the brink of a new chapter in college, fate has thrown us together in this cramped hotel room for a few days, and the air is thick with unspoken tension. The thought sent a shiver down my spine, stirring a mix of unease and exhilaration that I struggled to articulate. Jason surged into my thoughts, uninvited yet impossible to ignore. "Jason, I had something special in mind for you. Jason, I had something special in mind for you. I yearned to be by your side, to feel your presence close to me. Yet here I am, trapped in this hotel room alongside your son, grappling with a whirlwind of emotions I can't quite decipher." The steam enveloped the cramped bathroom, a thick veil of warmth that caressed my skin, yet my thoughts surged like a tempest, relentless and chaotic. Ethan's grin, with its effortless charm, ignited a flicker of something unexpected deep within me. As the water cascaded over me, I felt an electric tension in the air, a whisper of transformation that hinted at the unknown. Something was shifting, and I could sense it deep within my bones. As the evening settled in, I made my way downstairs, seeking the comfort of dinner to help clear the swirling thoughts in my mind. I slipped into a delicate, airy dress that danced around me with every movement. The heat enveloped me like a warm embrace, yet it also brought a sense of calm that settled deep within my soul. I struggled to dispel the strange tension that clung to me like a shadow. The hotel restaurant exuded a humble charm, its cozy atmosphere wrapping around guests, like a warm embrace, perfectly suited for such an intimate setting. I ordered a light meal and a glass of wine, seeking solace in their comforting embrace, hoping they would ease the tension coiling within me. The sun dipped below the horizon, casting shadows as the streetlights outside the hotel flickered to life, their warm glow illuminating the encroaching darkness. As I sat there, my thoughts relentlessly drifted back to the room upstairs, a place shrouded in mystery and unspoken secrets. Curiosity gnawed at me as I pondered what Ethan might be doing in this very moment. For someone as restless and brimming with energy as he was, the confines of a cramped room must have felt like a prison, stifling his spirit and yearning for freedom. Yet, there was something about his relaxed demeanor, so effortless and carefree, that unraveled me in a way I couldn't fully articulate. As the last drop of wine slipped away, I cast one last lingering look at my plate before ascending the stairs, each step deliberate and measured. As I stepped into the room, an eerie silence enveloped me, thick and palpable. I pushed the door ajar, and the scene that unfolded before me stole my breath away, leaving me momentarily frozen in place. Ethan lay sprawled on the bed, the steam of his recent shower still clinging to him. Wrapped in nothing but a robe, he was utterly unconscious, lost to the world around him. His half-open robe hinted at the contours of his lean, fit body, drawing the eye with an undeniable allure. His damp hair clung to his forehead, and a faint smile danced on his lips, as if he were lost in a dream. My heart raced, each beat echoing in my ears. What I stumbled upon was the last thing I could have ever anticipated. In that fleeting moment, I stood paralyzed by the door, a whirlwind of uncertainty swirling within me, grappling with the weight of my next move. Within me, a tumultuous storm of emotions raged, each vying for dominance. Shame washed over me, yet I found myself unable to look away from him. "Rachel, what in the world are you doing? He is the son of Jason." I berated myself within, yet my gaze betrayed my resolve, irresistibly drawn to the tantalizing glimpse of his robe that had slipped further apart. What I witnessed ignited a flicker of warmth deep within me. The cramped confines of the room intensified the tension, suffocating every breath with an oppressive weight. With no other bed in sight, the choice loomed before her: share the warmth of his presence, or endure the long, restless hours in a chair. In this sweltering heat, the mere idea of a chair felt like a distant dream, an impossible luxury in a world that had turned unforgiving. I entered the room cautiously, the steady, rhythmic sound of Ethan's breathing enveloping the atmosphere. I inhaled deeply, striving for clarity, yet the turmoil within me swirled like a tempest, clouding my thoughts and leaving me adrift in confusion. I needed to gather my strength. "All right, Rachel," I whispered under my breath. "It's merely a single night. Nothing beyond that. This holds no significance. My plan to surprise Jason has taken an unexpected turn, and now I find myself trapped in this predicament. Stay composed. Hold your ground." I stepped closer to the bed, my gaze fixed on Ethan. His innocent expression deepened the chaos swirling in my mind, twisting my thoughts into an even more intricate web. I perched on the edge of the bed, a storm of thoughts swirling in my mind as I contemplated how I would survive the long, dark night ahead. In the stillness of the night, a faint sound pierced the silence, rousing me from my slumber. With a flicker of consciousness, I cracked my eyes open, just wide enough to take in the shadows lurking in the corners of the room. Ethan shifted restlessly on the bed, a subtle tension hanging in the air. He appeared to be in a daze, his fingers weaving through his tousled hair as he absent-mindedly scratched his head, lost in thought. I found myself watching him, my eyelids barely lifted, feigning drowsiness while a storm of tension brewed within me. Then I sensed it, the weight of his gaze piercing through me, My heart pounded in my chest. His gaze was on me, watching carefully. I kept my expression neutral, trying to hide my thoughts, even as I felt the tension building. Yet within me a storm of energy surged, electrifying every fiber of my being. With a swift motion, he loosened the belt of his robe. As it began to unravel, his robe shifted slightly, revealing the hint of his athletic build. The subtle shift of his muscles with each movement ignited an unexpected warmth within me. I was powerless to resist. In that fleeting moment, a profound clarity washed over me, revealing two undeniable truths. I found myself swept away, powerless against the tide of events, and a part of me reveled in the chaos, reluctant to bring it to a halt. With a swift motion, Ethan yanked open the wardrobe doors, his eyes scanning the cluttered shelves until they landed on a pair of shorts, ready to be claimed for the day ahead. As he moved, his eyes flickered back to me, searching for signs of consciousness, as if my very awareness held the key to some unspoken truth. His appearance ignited a thrill within me, stirring a rush of anticipation. I fought to keep my secrets hidden, yet the intensity of the moment enveloped me, consuming every thought and feeling. Once he slipped into his shorts, he vanished from the bed, leaving an unsettling silence in his wake. Instead, he settled into the chair in the shadowy corner of the room, his gaze fixed intently on me. The weight of those piercing eyes bore down on me, a mix of unease and an inexplicable thrill igniting a fire within my core. I lay there, eyes tightly closed, feigning slumber, but the question loomed. How long could I maintain this charade? At last, the weight of it all became unbearable, and I pushed myself up, breaking free from the suffocating shadows that had held me down. As my gaze locked onto Ethan's, I steadied my voice, determined not to let it waver. I spoke with raw honesty, revealing the thrill coursing through me. "You're making me so excited." Ethan stood at the edge of the world, the weight of his choices pressing down like a storm cloud ready to burst. Every moment felt charged with an electric tension, as if the very air around him was alive with possibilities. He took a deep breath, steeling himself for what lay ahead, knowing that this was a turning point he could not ignore. The words lingered in the air, heavy and palpable, as if they were waiting for something to break the silence. In that instant, a profound realization washed over me. Everything was about to change forever. Ethan's eyes momentarily ignited with a spark. Then he inhaled deeply, the weight of his words hanging in the air as he began to speak. "I don't know, Rachel," he said, his voice a low murmur, yet unwavering. "For what feels like an eternity, we've been living under the same roof, ever since my dad vanished from our lives. With each passing moment we share, my feelings for you deepen, pulling me into a whirlwind of emotions I never expected. Unbeknownst to you, there are moments when my admiration for you slips through the cracks, revealing itself in the most unexpected ways. At this moment, it seems as if I am caught in a surreal dream." His words struck me like a bolt from the blue, igniting a fire deep within my soul. Ethan's gaze was unyielding, locking onto mine with a raw honesty and fervor that ensnared my very soul. "I have to rise with the dawn to fix the car," he continued, though his voice trembled as if he were attempting to persuade his own wavering resolve. Yet his gaze remained steadfast, unwavering, as if anchored by an unbreakable force. "But at this moment, my gaze is utterly captivated by you, Rachel. A sensation unlike any I've ever known washes over me." My heart pounded in my chest. In that moment, I shifted to the edge of the bed, my heart racing as I sank into the chair directly across from him. My gaze ensnared his. The air crackled with an electric tension, a silent language that spoke volumes without uttering a single word. We lingered in silence, the air thick with unspoken tension, before I pursed my lips and locked my gaze onto him. "Ethan," I said slowly, my voice laced with both curiosity and a challenge. "Are we truly discussing the same thing?" Ethan's gaze intensified, as if he yearned to experience this moment through emotions rather than mere words. Silence enveloped the moment, yet the intensity in his gaze spoke volumes, revealing a depth of unspoken emotions that hung heavy in the air. In that moment, the weight of the truth crashed down on me. There was no turning back for us. As I gazed into his eyes, a powerful wave of courage and uncontainable desire surged within me. The blend of uncertainty and fervor in his gaze ignited a fire within me, urging me onward. With a steadying breath, I began to speak once more, my voice a blend of calm and resolve, capturing his undivided attention. As I stepped into the room, I found you lost in slumber. Your robe hung slightly ajar, and I found myself utterly captivated by you. It struck deeper than I had anticipated. We cannot escape these emotions. Deep down, we both understand that truth. With my words lingering like a heavy fog, I stepped forward, rising slowly to my feet. His gaze tracked my every movement, his breath growing rapid and shallow. Excitement coursed through my veins, a wild current I could no longer contain. As I adjusted my dress, I felt a strange sensation in the air, unsure of what to expect next. I believe I murmured, my voice barely above a whisper. We must find a way to balance the scales, Ethan. With trembling fingers, I cautiously unzipped the back of my dress, each inch revealing a mix of anticipation and vulnerability. The fabric slid off me as I took off my dress, the cool air immediately enveloping me. The cool air caressed my skin, intensifying the fire that raged within me. The gaze in his eyes revealed everything: astonishment, reverence, and an irresistible allure that beckoned him closer. The silence surrounded us, and as we locked eyes, I felt the weight of the unspoken words between us. With determination, I advanced another step closer to him. Now, I whispered, a sense of tension hanging in the air. We'll see if we're truly on the same page. Ethan's gaze pierced through me, his expression unwavering and ablaze with intensity. In an instant, he rose to his feet, his eyes locked onto mine, and flicked on the room light. The room was bathed in a soft glow as he approached, his footsteps deliberate, and with a swift motion, he turned the key in the lock, sealing the outside world away. My heart pounded wildly in my chest. In that instant, time seemed to stretch, enveloping us in a cocoon where only we existed. As he advanced, my breath hitched in my throat, quickening with each deliberate step he took toward me. He appeared to be searching the depths of my eyes, yet he was acutely aware of the unspoken connection that drew us together. As he drew nearer, his hand settled on my waist, and the warmth of his touch surged through me like an electric current, igniting every nerve in my body. Silently, he drew closer, his gaze fixated on my lips. I remained silent, powerless to voice my dissent. Every aspect of this moment resonated with an undeniable sense of destiny, as if the universe had conspired for it to unfold just this way. As his lips finally brushed against mine, the tension that had coiled within me began to ease, and I felt a sense of calm. His kiss lingered, and I felt a deep, emotional connection in that moment, filled with complexity. My hands instinctively sought his shoulders, enveloped by their strength and warmth that wrapped around me like a comforting embrace. As our breaths intertwined, the distance that once separated us vanished into thin air. In that instant, it was as if a storm had erupted, unleashing all the hidden feelings that had lingered in the air between us. Ethan's vibrant youth and boundless energy clashed with the profound passion I had nurtured through the years. It marked the dawn of an adventure, a thrilling and daunting journey that lay ahead. That night, the truth of our feelings surged to the surface, undeniable and raw. I collapsed onto the bed, my body heavy with fatigue, yet my mind surged with a whirlwind of thoughts. My breath came in ragged gasps. My dress lay across the floor as I tried to collect my thoughts, feeling overwhelmed by the emotions in the room. Ethan's eyes bore into me, a silent yet powerful energy emanating from his unwavering gaze. In that fleeting moment, he lowered himself, retrieving the dress, his fingers grazing the spot where my foot had just rested. Even the smallest of gestures seemed to amplify the emotions within me. As he grasped the dress for a fleeting moment, a glimmer of uncertainty danced across his features. With a surge of resolve, he cast the dress aside. His hands crept to the edge of the bed, a silent anticipation hanging in the air. With a measured grace, he ascended onto the mattress, each movement infused with caution and intent. As he approached, the look on his face revealed a tumult of emotions, a thrilling blend of excitement and undeniable allure that drew me in. As I lay on the far side of the bed, the palpable warmth of Ethan's presence enveloped me. My heart pounded fiercely, each beat echoing in my ears as my breaths grew deeper and more urgent. As he leaned closer, I felt the space between us vanish, leaving only the electric tension in the air. The future felt uncertain, and I was unsure of the path that lay ahead. At that moment, a torrent of emotions surged within me, consuming every thought and sensation. The pain coursed through me, igniting a thrill that was both exhilarating and tormenting. As I gazed up at the ceiling, Ethan's face materialized before me, vivid, haunting. My gaze was drawn to the way he effortlessly swept his hair back from his forehead, his hand gliding through the strands with a captivating grace. In his eyes, I could glimpse the whirlwind of emotions swirling within Ethan, his cheeks flushed, a spark of excitement igniting his spirit, and an unmistakable joy radiating from him. His actions were filled with intensity, and I couldn't help but feel the weight of the moment as we stood there in silence. Ethan had ignited a whirlwind of emotions within me, leaving me almost relieved when the car finally broke down. "I'll never forget this hotel," Ethan whispered, his voice quaking, each word struggling to escape, laden with the weight of 1,000 memories. His gaze was intense, piercing through the air between us, yet his hands trembled ever so slightly, betraying a hidden turmoil. His body was coiled tight, muscles rippling with tension, each movement deliberate and measured, as if he were grasping at the threads of a fading memory. "I can't let my father sell the car now," he insisted, a sense of urgency in his voice. With a silent surrender, he collapsed beside me, his eyes fluttering shut as he sought solace in the rhythm of his breath, the world around us fading into a hushed stillness. Fatigue enveloped me like a heavy shroud, leaving me utterly speechless, drained of every ounce of strength. My legs thrashed uncontrollably, a frantic dance I couldn't comprehend. And in the depths of that chaos, I had slipped into a slumber without even knowing it. The following morning, Ethan arrived, the car repaired and ready, urgency in his voice, as he informed me we had to collect Jason and make our way to the city. As we traveled down the winding road, a storm of regret and conflicting emotions churned within me. Yet beneath it all, a flicker of excitement ignited my spirit. As I gazed into Ethan's eyes, every flicker of emotion, every subtle movement, seemed to weave a spell around me, drawing me deeper into his world. Everything was a tangled web of uncertainty, and yet the future remained shrouded in mystery. The turmoil within me clashed with the thrill that surged through my veins, leaving me torn between the relentless questions and the intoxicating excitement that beckoned me forward. One undeniable truth loomed before me. This journey would mark the turning point where everything transformed. If you've journeyed this far, I can sense the thrill my tale has ignited within you. Stay connected and dive deeper into the unfolding tale. Hit that follow button, activate notifications, and share your thoughts on this story in the comments below. I eagerly await your insights.